Hello and welcome everyone to this amazing YouTube video. So, in the recent live stream, I said that I'm going to draw levels of some of the stocks which are trading on the Indian stock markets, and moreover, they have options in them. So, stocks like TCS, SBI, UBI, HDFC Bank, L&T, Bajaj Finance, all these shares. So what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to set particular levels for those stocks, and I will be using those levels to trade in future. In future, not as in financial instrument, but in coming times, right? So these levels will help me to identify the breakouts, and based on those breakouts I will be buying call options or I will be buying put options. So let me just show you one example first, and then I will be making the same levels on other shares as well. Wherever it is possible I will be making these levels, right? So coming to TCS, so first of all let me just explain you the theory behind what I'm looking for, right? So first thing, in stock markets the market doesn't always keep going like this, right? As we all know, market goes in ebbs and flow, right? So market goes up, then it comes a bit down, it comes up, it comes a bit down, then it rises again, right? So this is a bullish trend. Again, in the bearish trend, it doesn't simply comes down like this. It comes down, then it creates a higher high, lower high, then it again comes down, and this is how a bearish trend works, right? So the third type of trend is the sideways trend. So in that, the market is in a particular range, like this is its resistance and this is its support. So I hope this much is clear. So there are three type of trends: uptrend, downtrend, and sideways. And we have seen how all these three trends look. We know what sort of market structure they have, right? So now बेसिक हो गया. अब थोड़ा बेसिक से आगे बढ़ते हैं. So there is one strategy named breakout strategy, right? So what it basically is that sometimes what happens is that the market moves a little bit. Market as in a stock or an index, anything. Currently, let's assume that we are talking about the TCS stock, right? So this is TCS stock. Now what happens is that suddenly the volume decreases. That is, there is not a lot of transaction in the share and the price ranges a bit. So इधर क्या होगा कि प्राइस रेंज होने लगेगी कि ना ज्यादा बढ़ेगी ना ज्यादा कम होगी, but it will move in a certain range. So over here this will be our major resistance and this will be our major support, right? So the prices will move in this range. It will keep moving in this range. But now, as a trader, like I learned this from one of the best traders of India, that is Mitesh Patel, in one of his video. So now the whole logic behind such movement is that first of all, there is one thing that should be crystal clear to each and every one of you, and that thing is that retail investors like us don't move the market. Always keep that in your mind that retail investors do not move the market, right? So now, that being said, who moves the market? So big players like Rakesh Junjunwala, big banks, big mutual fund houses, These are the guys who move the market, who have the capital to move the market, right? So in such scenarios, what happens is that the market is consolidating right now, right? So there are two names which we can give to this consolidation. One is accumulation and the another is distribution. Now both, like, both have the same kind of behavior, but the result is different, right? So in an accumulation, what do we mean by an accumulation? Accumulation is a phase wherein these big players, they gather a lot of shares, right? So once they have a lot of shares, they will spike the price of that share, and then once the share gains some momentum, they will start selling the shares and they will on profit. So another lesson over here is that if the price of a share is rising, that doesn't mean that it is rising for you to make money. It is rising so that the big player who has moved the market can make the money, right? So always remember that thing as well. Market is supreme. Do not be proudy. Do not be arrogant. Always be eyeful. Always be observing, and always be careful and diligent, right? That is an utmost trait required for a trader. So moving on, this is accumulation, like, right? So पहले वो लोग शेयर इकट्ठा करेंगे बहुत सारे, and then they will spike up the price and then they will dump the share. So in this case they will be earning a lot of money. Now coming to distribution. So in distribution what happens is that same thing. You will see the same behavior, like the share will be moving in some range and the volume will be really less, right? The volume will be really less, and then suddenly the price will start falling, right? So in distribution phase what happens is that these guys start selling their shares, like they start selling their shares, and then what they will do is they will sell in a huge quantity, which will generate a downward momentum, and due to this downward momentum the share will start falling crazily. So what happens in this is that they will short that particular share, or they will short that particular index. So they cannot move the index that way, so definitely they are going to move that particular share. So in this case, suppose if TCS starts falling crazily, that means that they have distributed the shares of TCS and now they are betting against the TCS. So this is where they will make their money, right? So now you guys are familiar with what is accumulation and what is distribution. So now you will ask, Khilan, what now? How, like, all this story is great, all this behind the scenes picture is great, it's amazing, but Khilan, how can we earn money and why are you telling this to us? So great question. First of all, if you have thought about it, great question. Because as a trader, you should always think that how can I earn from this, right? So coming back to the charts, so what one thing that should be clear is that you have to identify a breakout, right? You have to identify that a particular share is accumulating or distributing. And how can you do that? So first of all, it will be in a particular range. Like in this case, this price is in this range. Secondly, the volume is very important. The volume will be very, 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 very less, right? Volume will be very less. So let's come to this chart. First of all, you should have a view of at least 9 months, right? So October, September. So this is more than 9 months. Let me show you an example in which I took a trade, right? Because that will give you a much, much, much better idea. All right. So IGL Indrapras Gas Limited, it is an amazing share. Fundamentally, it is really strong. I personally hold this share. But coming back to the topic, what happened was that the price of this particular share was ranging between these two levels, like from 530 to 591, and it was ranging for about three from February to June. So that is around 3 to 4 months, right? So the price was ranging. It was continuously in this zone, right? And see the volumes. The volume is also very less. You can observe the volume is also very less as compared to this level, again these levels, right? So the volume was very less. So now one thing was clear. What I identified was that the price is consolidating. I was not sure whether this is accumulation or distribution, but I knew that something is going on in this share, right? So now let me just change my range. So this was the range, right? This was the range. So I knew that something fishy was going on over here. So coming to this area or point of interest, what started happening was that see on this range we have a huge volume. So huge volume means that all the selling pressure was absorbed. So one thing you should understand about a volume chart is that it does not green does not mean that these many shares were bought. Green means that like volume green means that the overall price had increased. That this figure that is okay. This figure of 11.3 million shows that these many transactions happened, and in these transactions the price kept rising. The green color is for that. So 11.3 million transactions were there on this day. That means that all the selling pressure was absorbed by the buyers, by the bulls, right? On the next day, I observed the same pattern, right? And I could also see a breakout. Like, see, the price was continuously in this range from 22nd of Feb to 28th of June. That is around 4 months. But now the price broke this range, and it broke the range by absorbing all the selling pressure, right? Now, who can do this? Answer me. Clearly, retail investors do not have the capital or the unity. Like GameStop was some different shit, right? But retail investors cannot do this. So definitely some big player, some big bank or some big mutual fund house was involved in this gimmick, right? So what happened is that they had like just like Harshal Mehta, they had pumped this share price, and now what I did was that I took a position in this share somewhere around here. Let me just zoom in the chart. I took my position somewhere around here. I bought call options, and then on the other day I sold it around here. So this is how I identified that there is some sort of consolidation or there is some sort of accumulation or distribution. So if the price would have fallen, like it would have gone down or dropped down, I would have bought put options, but it broke on the upper side. So I was sure that now the price will go up to some extent. Like I did not know that how much high it will go, like to 20 points, 30 points, or 50 points, but I knew that it is going to go up, right? So what I did was I bought options and I sold it on the very next day, and I earned my profit and I got out of the trade. right? So this is how you can earn money by breakout, and this is not a foolproof scheme, but yeah, you can get good trades. Like with practice, you can be successful 70 to 80% of the time, and that is more than enough, right? Like normally you have 50-50 odds whether it will go up or down, but if you can stretch it to 70 or 75 or 80%, then that is a skill which cannot be overlooked, right? So this thing is called a breakout. Breakout means that the price has broken that range and now it will continue to move on. So another thought process you should have is that, see, the price is in a particular range. That means it is not able to break the resistance and it is not able to break the support. So what happens is that a volume is generated, a momentum is generated, like a momentum is gathering. नाउ जिस भी दिशा में ये फूटेगा, ये बम जिस भी दिशा में फूटेगा वो ऊपर तक जाएगा, ठीक है? वो थोड़ा तो ऊपर तक जाएगा और हमें थोड़े की जरूरत है, थोड़ा है और थोड़े की जरूरत है, राइट? सो in that particular case, what we can do is we can bet on that stock. You can either buy futures, you can sell options. Like if it is going up, you can sell put options of strike price 510 or 520, and yeah, you have to sell put options. Keep that in mind, right? You have to sell put options, so you can even sell put options of 550 strike price or whatever is your analysis at that point based on volatility and all, right? So this is how you can use range, like this chart and volume, to determine that there is some sort of consolidation, there is some accumulation or distribution going on, and once the price breaks out, you have to earn money, and everything is on execution, right? Everyone, like all those who know how a breakout works, knew that this had happened, but only who executed from it earned money, right? Not everyone who knew earned money, only those who executed on this trade earned money, right? So moving forward, so this is the whole mindset. So now we'll be making levels. I will be showing you how to make levels, right? So we have IGL in place. Let me remove the drawing because we don't need it anymore currently. Let's see. So these are my levels. Like currently IGL is ranging between this level. Let me just add a ray rather than using a line so that we are much more clear that from where are we looking for a breakout, right? So currently we are looking from 20th of September and we are in this range. So this is our range. So let's see when we will be getting a probable breakout. So let me just check. Right. So similarly for TCS, what I did was, so for TCS, this is my range and we have been consolidating over here since 31st March. So another thing about breakout which I forgot to mention is that the price should be ranging in that particular area for at least a month. Only then you can say that yeah, this is a accumulation or this is distribution, right? So it should be ranging for at least a month. And if you see that the price is ranging for 2 or 3 months, then that is an golden opportunity. Keep an eye out for that opportunity, right? So the price has been ranging for more than a month, for almost a month, right? 31st to 30th September. So for a month. So we will be looking forward for a breakout in this in TCS. So these are my levels. Now let's see which other shares we want to include. I'll be including LNT. So let's see if we can draw some levels for LNT. So this is my range for LNT, and this is from where the whole story starts, right? So I've kept the ray, so we have a reference. So LNT has been ranging in this particular zone from 15th of February. So we still have to wait for a confirmation that yes, this is ranging. But if you see the market structure, like currently it is forming higher high and higher low. So it is in a bullish trend. So we cannot be completely sure that this is ranging, but yes, if it continues to flow in this particular range, then we can be sure that some sort of accumulation or distribution is going on, and then we can take a breakout trade, right? For example, let me show you. Like this was our range, and then there was a breakout. Although the price did not continue to go up, but yes, this was a breakout. July. All right. This is LNT. Then let's see what other stocks can we see. You can see Eicher Motors, right? Eicher Motor is also an great share. Again, the same story. Eicher Motor has been ranging in this particular range for from 3rd of September. So again, we have to wait for some sort of confirmation. I think this is a much better range. Like this is more conclusive. Like we have been ranging in this range, right? So let's see. So let's see if the price gets rejected over here, because see, this was a strong support and the price has broken this support. So what can happen is that it may continue to fall down, and we have to wait, because if the price breaks this area, then this is not any form of consolidation. So we will be skipping it. Now let's go to SBI. SBIN. Alright. So SBI has been ranging as well. From this, what I can gather is that we have been ranging in this range, right? So this has been our range. Okay, so we have a breakout over here. So let's consider this range, right? We have been ranging here since 1st of September. Like the price has been in this particular range from 1st of September. So let's wait if we can see some sort of breakout in this. So currently in this particular video, I'm just drawing the levels, but as and when the market progresses, as and when the time goes, if we see an opportunity at that time, I will be referring to this video that, see guys, I told you about these breakouts, right? So I'll be drawing other levels as well, but I've already recorded for 23 minutes and I think it's enough for this video. So I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned, stay positive, stay happy, keep trading, keep managing your risk. I'll see you on Monday's live stream. Bye bye.